Activities to mark Armed Forces Remembrance Day kick off with special prayers for the nation. Troops kill 109 terrorists, arrest 81 suspects, and rescue 43 kidnapped victims. And United States moves to return $52.88 million Diezani Alison Madueke loot to Nigeria. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. President Bola Tinubu this Friday joined other Muslims and the Nigerian Armed Forces for a special Jumat prayer at the National Mosque Abuja as part of activities to commemorate 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Ablaya Jia reports that the Imam of the National Mosque, Professor Ilyas Usman, told worshippers to entrust everything to Allah through sincerity of deeds, prayers and faith, as Allah has promised victory for the righteous and faithful.
As Muslims joined other compatriots on this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, President Bola Tinubu also joins the solemn voices of faithful for Allah's ultimate guidance and victory for the country. Professor Ilyas Usman's sermon examines moral standards and ethical behaviors from the premise of the Quran and Hadith, with a call on all to be upright and promote goodness. He calls for support and prayer for the Nigerian military to succeed in its professional task of protecting the country.
When we act with ikhlas, our actions are accepted by Allah and we are rewarded. Ikhlas empowers us to uphold justice.
The cleric, who salutes the gallantry of the military, acknowledges the efforts towards ensuring the peace, unity and progress of the country, urging all to uphold justice and peaceful coexistence.
Al-Karim, Al-Wahhab, Al-Mu'ti, we ask you for blessings and protection upon our President, His Excellency, Al-Hajj Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and all his cabinets.
Our armed forces deserve to be supported and to be prayed for because they have sacrificed for this country. Those who have passed away and those who are still serving, they deserve our support by the government. I think the president has been doing very fine with them. I read not quite long ago that he approved about 20 million or something like that for them after the retirement. It means the government sees wisdom in taking care of our armed forces and security agencies in this country.
Professor Usman appeals for continuous welfare and support for the families of the fallen heroes, veterans, and serving men and officers of the armed forces of Nigeria, as he reminds worshippers of Allah's promise of truth to prevail over evil. In Abuja, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army says it is committed to addressing the challenges of post-service life with a view to fostering loyalty, boosting morale, and dedication amongst troops. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, made this known at the inauguration of the Nigerian Army Post-Service Housing Development Corporate Headquarters and Officers' Residential Accommodation in Abuja.
And service of humanity.
The Post-Service Housing Scheme for the Nigerian Army is a vital initiative that underscores the vision of the Chief of Army Staff to prioritize the welfare of soldiers beyond active service. Recognizing the sacrifices made by the military personnel in safeguarding the nation, the scheme provides a secure and sustainable housing solution, ensuring dignity and stability for officers and their families after retirement.
As the Chief of Army Staff, my desire is to have a vibrant post-service housing development limited that can help achieve one of my cardinal welfare schemes, which is the provision of befitting post-service accommodation for Nigerian Army officers and soldiers.
By offering access to affordable housing, the scheme not only enhances the quality of life for retirees, but also serves as a testament to the Nigerian Army's dedication to the holistic well-being of its personnel.
The Post-Service Housing Development Limited was established in 1996 to implement the Nigerian Army Housing Scheme with a mandate to provide affordable homes into which officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army could retire into.
Such measures are instrumental in reinforcing trust between the institution and its workforce, thereby strengthening the overall effectiveness and unity of the Nigerian Army.
Staying with security matters, troops have killed 109 terrorists, arrested 81 criminals, rescued 43 kidnapped victims, and recovered 21 assorted weapons. A statement by the Director Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, shows that during the week under review, troops in the Niger Delta discovered and destroyed 10 crude oil cooking ovens, 10 dugout pits, 12 boats, 4 storage tanks and 10 illegal refining sites. The Defense Headquarters assures of continued incremental effectiveness and efficiency of the armed forces. In other news, President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja on Saturday, January 11th to participate in the 2025 edition of the Abu Dhabi Sustainable Week, ADSW 2025. The invitation is at the instance of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, which will take place in the Emirates from 12th January to 18th. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, indicates that the summit will bring together global leaders to accelerate sustainable development and advance socio-economic progress. The event, tagged the Nexus of Next, Supercharging Sustainable Progress, will enable policy makers, business and civil society leaders to explore pathways to fast-track the transformation to a sustainable economy and evolve a new era of prosperity for all. At the events, President Tinubu will stress his administration's reforms, including those related to energy sufficiency, transportation, public health, and economic developments. The Nigerian leader and his entourage will also meet with the Emirates leadership to discuss issues of interest affecting the two nations. Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar and other senior government officials will accompany the president. He will return to Nigeria on Thursday, January 16th. Now, in a bid to end the cycle of corruption which has hampered developments in Nigeria, diplomatic efforts are being made by the federal government to initiate recovery of looted funds stashed in foreign lands. This is yielding results as the United States has signed an agreement in Abuja to return more than $52 million illicit funds recovered from the former Petroleum Resources Minister, Lizani Alison Madueke, and her associates.
This event is not only a testament to the unwavering commitment of our nations to fight corruption, but also signifies the commitment of the United States of America to facilitating restitution and supporting integrity and accountability in governance. As agreed, the $50 million United States dollar of the repatriated funds will be utilized through the World Bank to partly fund the rural electrification project to increase the reliability and availability of renewable energy in Nigeria. While the balance of $2.88 million will be disbursed as a grant by Nigeria to the International Institute for Justice, IIJ, to support the rule of law and counter-terrorism projects.
This agreement, I think, marks a significant milestone, as the minister said, in the ongoing collaboration between our two governments in combating corruption, upholding the rule of law.
In line with the current administration's intolerance for corruption, the Ministry of Justice says the UN and international agencies on transparency will be involved in monitoring expenditure of the recovered funds. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has ordered a fresh hearing on the legal battle over the disputed emirates in Kano State. With this verdict, the High Court of Kano will be the trial courts in the matter. The appeal was filed by Nasir Ado Bayero, who is contending his removal as Emir of Bichi by the state government. The appellate court held that Nasir Ado Bayero was denied fair hearing by the state high court before judgment was delivered. It is now ordered that the case be returned to the Chief Judge of Kano State for reassignment to another judge for determination. The High Court of Kano State had in 2024 restrained Nasir Ado Bayero and 4 others from parading themselves as emirs in Kano State. The appellate court, in a split decision of 2-1, barred the Federal High Court in Kano from adjudicating over the Kano Emirate legal battle for lack of jurisdiction. Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, has approved the appointments of Prince Akeem Owade, a Nigerian-Canadian entrepreneur and philanthropist, as the new Alaafin of Oyo. The Oyo State Governor announced the appointments through the State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Dotun Oyelade, born 49 years ago to a prominent and royal family of Owade Agunloye in Oyo Town. Owade is one of the surviving children of Pa Rasaki Ibiyosi Owade. He was chosen by the Owade Agunloye family as the preferred candidate to represent the Owade family in the Alaafin of Oyo race. The federal government, with the support of the World Health Organization, who is upgrading and revitalizing 88 primary healthcare centers in Nasarawa State to provide quality healthcare services in rural communities. 10THJANUARY reports that the reforms seek to target increased access to healthcare services to achieve a healthier population in the state.
The intervention is being implemented under the Immunization Plus and Malaria Progress by accelerating coverage and transforming service impact project, which aims to improve facilities across 780 primary healthcare centers in the state. So far, equipment have been provided to 147 primary healthcare centers in the state, while 88 primary healthcare centers are currently being upgraded and revitalized with capacity building of healthcare personnel so as to strengthen healthcare system in communities in the state. The stakeholders' engagement is to assess progress made in the implementation of the impact project, which stakeholders say is successful.
We want to double all the indicators we are tracking, both maternal child indicator and malaria indicator. We want to more than double those indicators, and that is one of the essence we are having this stakeholders meeting.
However, stakeholders decry low patronage of rural population in accessing primary healthcare services despite huge investment and call for sensitization. The state government assures federal government and the World Health Organization, as well as other development partners, of its commitment in implementing the project.
PSC posed a strategic point of blocking most of these diseases through proper vaccination.
By end of 2025, we'll reach to that 147 primary health care that is similar to the ward of Nasarawa State.
While the project will end by the end of the year, the implementing players commit to scale up interventions across all primary healthcare centers in the state. 10THJANUARY, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Still ahead, Nigeria Police forced to begin nationwide enforcement of vehicle insurance from 1st February. Stay with us.
A good TV station means different things to different people. What made NTA stand out for you in 2024?
Babu shakka, babu wani gidan talabijin a ƙasar nan da ke nuna al'adu kamar yadda gidan talabijin na ƙasa wato NTA kinna.
Kò sí ibikíbi tí ẹ wà ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí ẹ ò ti lè wo iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn ìjọba àpapọ̀ NTA kétékété kódà tó fi dé abúlé wa.
Standard NTA Bacharuru Okopa Okadigun Okoko now NTA Kalisiakali.
Strength, information, outstanding performance. NTA got the steez.
For decades, we've towered high with sponsors as partners and viewers as pillars. And as we bid 2024 farewell, we welcome you to a superlative 2025. Because at NTA, you can't beat the reach.
Oh, NTA say thank you.
Welcome back. Minister of Environment, Barabe Abbas Lawal, has defended the ministry's 2025 budget before the National Assembly, affirming that its attention is focusing on mitigating the effects of climate change, protecting the ecosystem for sustainable growth and development. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed has more.
The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, says, as an annual obligation to guide government spendings, the 2025 budget will focus on implementation of result-oriented programs, monitoring and evaluation in line with the renewed hope agenda of the present administration.
Secure a quality environment for good health and well-being, promote sustainable use of natural resources, foster research on environmental issues, and develop harmony between within the nation and the environment. Protect and enhance natural resources, restore ecosystem, and conserve biodiversity. Raise public environmental awareness, collaborate with MDS, NGOs, and international organizations on environmental issues.
These states affected by desertification, which covers about 77 local governments in the affected area. And the funding we received over the past years has been insufficient to cover for limited shelter belts, woodlots and orchards, so as to help mitigate climate change and desertification.
The chairman of the House Committee on Environment, Julius Pondi, says, despite good efforts in previous budgets, low releases of funds have affected opportunities to address environmental challenges facing the country.
As a committee, we are disposed to increase budgetary allocations for this critical sector, in as much as we see key projects that are envisioned that will strengthen climate resilience, combat pollution, enhance community awareness, and ensure accountability in the year 2025 budget proposal of the ministry and its agencies.
The committee has selected Thursday next week for the continuation of the budget defense to enable the ministry to correct some errors observed. From the National Assembly, Issa Muhammad, NTA News.
Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has approved an upward review of monthly pensions from 5,000 to 20,000 naira for Kano retirees. He made the announcements during the flag-off of disbursements of 5 billion in retirement and death benefits to 2,000 pensioners and families of deceased civil servants. Abdullahi Mustafa has details.
After more than 3 decades of dedicated service to the Kano State Civil Service, Hussaina Saadi Akaze had been waiting for her retirement benefits since 2018. That long-awaited moment finally arrived as she, alongside more than 2,000 other retirees, received their gratuity from Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. This comes after the state government allocated an additional 5 billion naira for the disbursement of retirement benefits and compensation for the families of deceased civil servants. Over the past 14 months, the government has paid a total of 16 billion naira towards the pension liability, part of the larger 48 billion naira commitment. Governor Yusuf emphasized that the decision was made with the primary aim of securing the financial well-being of Kano's senior citizens.
And we have also made an upward review of the minimum pension from 5,000 to 20,000 per pensioner.
Representatives of various labor unions expressed their gratitude to the governor, commending his prompt action in addressing the long-standing issue of unpaid gratuities for Kano's civil servants. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The new Vice-Chancellor of the University of Abuja, Professor Aisha Sani Maikudi, has assured the university community of running an inclusive administration and an open-door policy. This was during her maiden academic session with heads of departments and deans who are among the institution's Senate members. Professor Maikudi believes that cooperation and contribution of all, which she is ready to leverage, are required to realize the objectives of the founders of the university.
During my term as the acting Vice-Chancellor, you all gave me the support I needed. You helped me succeed. Very impactful period. Everything I've achieved, I couldn't have done it alone. Getting on this seat again, I want us to continue to work together to make this place a beacon of success and innovation.
As Senate members of University of Abuja, the process that led to your emergence as Vice-Chancellor of University void of no violation of any extant law.
The beginning of wisdom is to reconcile. Look, 5 is a number. Please try as much as possible to bring them in. So because you need them, we need them, the University of Abuja needs them. You don't have the chance and the luxury of sleeping.
Please, ma, I want you to be strong because the job is tough. You are dealing with professors. So the job is not easy and it's not going to be easy. You need to be tough.
A 42-year-old international law scholar, Professor Aisha Maikudi, emerged top to clinch the position among 9 of her colleagues who contested for the vice-chancellorship last week. This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Here's a recap of our top stories. Activities to mark Armed Forces Remembrance Day kick off with special prayers for the nation. Troops kill 109 terrorists, arrest 81 suspects, and rescue 43 kidnapped victims. The United States moves to return $52.88 million Dizani Alison Madwikwe loot to Nigeria.
This is NTA News 24.
The death has been announced of Alhaja Munirat Adejoke Olaiwola of Oshogbo, Osun State. She was 108 years old. Alhaja Munirat Adejoke Olaiwola was a hard-working and enterprising woman who moved to Ghana in 1937, where she met and married her husband, late Pa Badamusi Adio Olaiwola. She returned to Nigeria in 1970. She is survived by her 6 children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, among them Feyi Olaiwola of the ECOWAS Commission, Abuja. The 40 days Fidel prayers come up on Saturday, January 11th, and final funeral details will be announced later. That concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.